Hi everyone, Witch Hazel here, and I just wanted to do a really quick scope because a lot of people when they're starting out as witches, they think you need a lot of paraphernalia. A lot of people don't realise that actually what you've got is all around you. Now I'm starting here with my altar, and yeah, there's a crystal ball, and I've got a cauldron, and there's antlers, and I've got a chalice representing male and female. I've got my pentacle, I've got my candle made by the lovely ladies at Ditzy Crafts. So that's that. But it around. Hi. So, what I wanted to say though is that's all well and good. And as altars go, mine isn't particularly elaborate. But I wanted to give you an idea of just everyday items that are in your house, because I truly believe that, you go back, say, 400-500 years, and witches were around, but they didn't have the kind of access to ready cash that most of us have. So their tools would have been the things that were around them. Why do we use an old-fashioned pot-bellied cauldron? Because that was the old-fashioned cooking pot. It doubled for everything. And surely the most basic form of witchcraft is creating a meal with love and honour for you and your family members. That's the most basic method of kitchen witchcraft. So, with that in mind, this is really quick and off the cuff. Hello to everybody that's joined me. Let me just give you an idea as we go around. Now, first of all, I'm starting here in this room. This is the spare room that doubles as my office. We do have, in our bedroom, that's my little space that I use for meditation. It's fantastic for magic, great for meditation. You can relax, you can dim the lights. Obviously, there's a whole thing of sex magic that I'll not go into now. That's a whole separate post. But also things like rebirthing experience, dream magic. How many of you write down your dreams? We've just had a full moon, that crazy super moon that drove us all mad. Write down your dreams, note the cycle of the moon, because most of us have more dreams, whether you consider yourself a witch or not. Most of us have more dreams during a full moon. They're crazy, they're vivid, you remember them when maybe you wouldn't. And this supermoon has just been bonkers. Do not ask me about the things I've been dreaming about, but not all of them nice, actually. Intelligent fire that crawled down the throats of its victims, not good stuff. That says a lot about my psychology. The Urban Witch says, yes, your dreams have been wild too. They've been crazy. I'm very glad now that the moon is past her fullest and she's starting to ease off. So, for those that are just joining me, I'm just going to do a quick whirlwind tour around the house to show ways that you really don't need to spend a fortune in occult shops to get the tools that you need. Now, when I started out on my path as a witch, kind of around the year 2001, I suddenly realised that's what I was. There wasn't the internet, so I did all my research through libraries, intuition, family folklore, that kind of thing. This is an amalgamation of what I've learned. I'm not going into anything too deep here. It's just to give you a flavour that you really don't need to spend a fortune on tools. So we've covered my altar, which I'll come back to. We've covered the bed and bedrooms. I'm going to say now, forgive my house. I'm really hoping I've done housework. Not very well. I'm looking around. Bathrooms. Bathrooms are fantastic places for doing magic. You want to cleanse yourself, you get under that shower. There's even spells called things like wash him out of your hair, where you can use the shower to literally get over somebody, get over that guy that's broken your heart, or that girl. Literally, while you're under the shower, or if you're in the bath, imagine all that negativity coming into the water, and then when you pull the plug, watch all that negativity and all those bad vibes go down the plug hole. Job done. So bathrooms are really good. From a feng shui point of view, you should always keep the lid down on your toilet. Because otherwise, every time you flush, apart from the fact it's very unhygienic because all the nasties in the toilet bowl get splashed around. Who wants to brush their teeth after that? But it also means you're not flushing your prosperity and your good fortune and good luck down the toilet. However, we can turn that around. And if you do have something that you need to get rid of, I'm not going to say flush expensive things down, but draw a representation of it. Even write the person's name if they've been causing you negativity and pain. Flush that down the toilet. Write it on toilet paper. Get rid of it out of your life and away from your property. So, where else should we go to next? That's the bedroom and the bathroom. Front doors. Front doors are fantastic. They are doorways. All doorways are magical. Ways that you can work with your front door. If you're lucky enough to have a wooden door, then even, your basic pine door is going to bring the properties of that wood into your home. Now, oak is the classic one for protection. There's elm and rowan. They've all got their magical properties. These days, a lot of people, if you do have a wooden door, it's going to be probably pine. Absolutely fine. Pine is strength. Pine is versatility. Pine is still protection as well. And it's that evergreen. It's about bringing constant love and prosperity into your home, you see. Thinking about it. Another thing you can do is your front door mat. This is really old household magic. 3 shiny coins under your front door mat means that every time you open the door, you are inviting wealth in. Remember, like attracts like. That's not just witchcraft, that's law of attraction. Let me see, mine should be under the door. Flip my fluffy doormat over, 1, 2, and 1's shoved out of place. There we go. 3 shiny coins under the doormat, and you will always have as much money as you need. It's not going to win you the lottery, but it will get you what you need. And while we're at the front, horseshoes, particularly iron horseshoes. Fantastic old-fashioned magic for prosperity. The idea was that the iron warded against negativity. It was also supposed to ward against the fairy folk. And by keeping the prongs upright, you kept all the luck in. Turn it upside down and all the luck runs out. And we don't want that. And I'm whizzing through my house here. Now, the lounge. If you are lucky enough to have a proper fireplace in your lounge, and I live in California, we don't have a fireplace here. So what you want to do is the hearth, though, can be in your lounge. It's the heart of your home. That is a fantastic place for doing, obviously, hearth magic. Now, I don't have an actual hearth. So what I use, we've got that I always cover with candles and in this case other paraphernalia, including an iPad and an oodoo drum. Don't ask. But that then becomes your hearth. I can perform hearth magic there. And that's an easy way of bringing the power of the Roman goddess Vesta into your home. And while I'm going to mention Vesta, I hate housework. Not gonna lie, it sucks my will to live. One way that I got around that, and the Urban Witch, you do too? Yeah. I don't know many people who truly love it. It's a necessary evil in my world. But what I do is I enhance my housework by invoking the Roman goddess Vesta. Now, the Greek version is Hestia. Fundamentally the same job, slightly different ways of doing it. So when I've got to do my housework, I will light some incense. I light my candles on my makeshift hearth there on my TV cabinet. And I ask for her blessing. I ask her to give me the strength to keep going, the determination to make sure my home is clean and tidy for my family, and just to bless the home and the work that I'm doing within it. And then I whiz around with the vacuum cleaner and the duster, chasing the dog so he doesn't shed fur, everything. And I usually put some tunes on because, hey, nothing gets my housework going like a bit of Metallica. And, you know, like I say, I like incense. On a good day, I'll have a cup of tea. On a bad day, it'll be a glass of wine or a gin and tonic. Whatever it takes to get me through. But I make it part of my sacred ritual. I'm not doing the chores. I'm cleansing my home and making it a sacred space again. Bit of headology, because goodness knows I need it. What else can I say about the lounge? Altars. Katie Bird, yeah, I don't know anybody. If you like housework, I love you very much, but you're a weirdo. Now, altars. Another idea that I took from sort of Vesta and domestic witchery is a family altar. Now, most people have a family altar and don't even know about it. If you've got a shelf or a space on your wall where you've got all your family photos, and you might have the kids and grandkids and your fur babies and your wedding day or your graduation day or baby pictures of yourself, that's a family altar, basically. Honour and respect it. So in Vestal traditions, the family altar would be, well, the Vestal altar would be near the front door. Now, I don't have a specific altar to Vesta. I tend to use my makeshift hearth altar on the TV cabinet. But something like this, you can see all my wedding pictures and family pictures there. That's a family shrine, family altar in its own way. Going around, I will bless it. I will give thanks that my family are safe, my loved ones are safe. And also there's things like pets and friends that are either no longer with us or that I've lost touch with, because I do live in America now. So I tend to then honour them and send love and well-being their way as well. So that's something else you can do. What else can I mention while I'm in the lounge? Right. Bookshelves. Who's tried bibliomancy? Had to think of the word there. I'm not a big fan of it myself. But one of the things you can do is take a book, take your favourite book. Traditionally, it used to be done with the Bible. I don't have a copy of the Bible. Tell me you're surprised. But you take a copy of your favourite book, open it at random, and the first phrase that your eyes set upon on that page is supposed to be your message from the universe. Not a big fan of it. Probably shouldn't have been using Harry Potter, but it's a fun way of doing things if you wanted to give it a try. Now, and if you do give it a try, let me know how you get on, because yeah, I'm not a big fan. Thought I'd mention it. Now we come to the kitchen. I see we've got another pot ahead there. Now we come to the kitchen, and this is, for me, this is really the hearth of the home. Now, I'm quite lucky because we live in an open plan house. So you can get to the kitchen from wherever you are in the home. There are no doors, nothing separates it off. It really is the centre of the home. On one side, I've got the lounge. On the other side, I've got the dining room and bedrooms. It really is central. And for a lot of us, actually, you know, who thinks when you have gatherings, everybody seems to gather in the kitchen no matter what you try and do. Whether that's because you're pouring drinks, you're making tea, you're baking cookies, whatever it is. Everybody seems to gather in the kitchen at parties. So embrace that and make that work for you. So in my case, I'm going to flip this around. That's my hearth. That's where I do most of my magic. It's the stove. And when people think of cauldrons, as I mentioned before, people tend to think of the old-fashioned pot-bellied cauldron. Not necessary. Most of my kitchen magic is done in saucepans. And only if I'm doing specific magic involving items that wouldn't necessarily mix very well with edible items, only then do I use a separate pan. Otherwise, most of my kitchen magic is done using just an ordinary kitchen pan, which I then cleanse afterwards. Now, the spice rack. This is one of your most valuable tools. And you can, even the most basic kitchen, if you're hiding your witchcraft, even the most basic kitchen will have a selection of herbs and spices. And you can really, really use these so easily, and nobody need ever know. Whether you're using basil for prosperity, you're using caraway seeds to protect your children from harm, bay leaves are another good one for prosperity as well. Whatever it is, there's so many books about herbalism. I'll do a separate post about those when we go through, but you've got your... I'm going to flip this around actually. It's mostly clean. Mostly clean. So we've got... Let's flip. So that's my culinary pestle and mortar. Oh, still with pepper in it. My salt pig. Salt is fantastic for protection, for purification. I make a mix for purification. A mix for protection using dragon's blood, which is a type of resin, salt, and eggshells, crushed eggshells. Fantastic. Lay that across your threshold. No harm will enter your house. I've got various oils and vinegars and that kind of thing as well. They can all be used. I don't know why I'm showing you this. It's not exactly rock and roll, is it? Isn't it fantastic? My little salt pig. Actually, that's quite a large salt pig there. Eggs as well are good for fertility magic. I remember years ago, a friend of mine was looking for some help in that department. She was trying for another baby. And one magic ritual that I know of is to hard boil an egg every day and eat it every day from one full moon. From the new moon to the full moon. Crikey, you've got to love eggs for that one. But one egg a day, and the idea is that as the moon grows up to full, and you're eating all these eggs, so the symbolism matches, and the idea is that you will get pregnant. Well, she tried it and it worked. On a practical level, also make sure you're having plenty of sex at that point, because otherwise it's just not going to happen. Again, plug holes like we mentioned for the bathroom. Plug holes are great for cleansing, flushing away anything that you don't want. And they're also really good. Again, the running water is a way of cleansing. Now, obviously, ideally, you should use natural running water if you can, a stream, the sea, anything like that. Now, I live in the Mojave Desert. There ain't a lot of running water, so if I need to cleanse something under running water, it has to be under the tap. Of course, I put a bowl under there so that I collect the water, but that has to be what I use, because bottled water is just ridiculously expensive and very bad for the environment. So I use the tap water and then use that water to water the garden. See, trying to be sensible here in a drought. So cleansing underwater works well. Obviously with your stove and your candles, you've got fire magic. More often than not, you've got herbs and things like that, which will count for your air. And your salt is your earth. You've got all four elements in the kitchen, and that's why I think most of us find that the kitchen is the most homely place. And it's all about food. Who doesn't love that? And cooking. So remember, next time you cook a meal, even if it's only beans on toast, and Americans are going to be going, what? It's a British thing. Try it. Don't judge me till you've tried it. But even if you're only doing that, you can fill it with love and positivity. Beans would be great to use for not just nutrition, but also for things like prosperity magic and that kind of thing. Beans on toast, Perfect. And in actual fact, if you use wholemeal bread, I remember being taught this at university, if you have beans on toast and you use wholemeal bread, then you're actually getting pretty much all your major nutrition in one meal. Yeah, beans on toast. Right, it turns out this is a peculiarly British thing, okay? When I moved to America and people take a tin of baked beans and then do stuff with it, I was a bit baffled. I'm like, don't you just heat them up and stick them on your plate? Because that's what we do. Heinz baked beans, warmed up in a pan or shoved in a microwave. It's about the only thing microwaves get used for in my house. Beans in tomato sauce. It is usually, like Heinz baked beans. Hang on till I have some in my cupboard. But any sort of... My husband's a massive fan. There's always like, Heinz beans. But yeah, what beans? Do you know what beans are they? Just says beans. Thanks, Heinz. I think they're haricot beans. But yeah, any beans in tomato sauce. You warm them up. You toast some bread, bit of butter, place beans on toast. What more could you ask for? Cheap and simple food. It kept many a student going. In my case, I prefer spaghetti hoops on toast, but there's variations there. Add a bit of Tabasco, and now I'm getting off track. So, very nutritious though if you use wholemeal bread. Don't use crazy, I don't mean to offend you guys, you American guys, don't use crazy American bread. Most of it is full of high fructose corn syrup. Get stuff that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. I cannot begin to tell you how bad that stuff is for you. And it's everywhere. Bread should not be sweet, people. But that's another post. So, that is a quick whistle-stop tour of the house. Giving you some ideas on how your house is already full of magic. You don't need anything special. You've got your pots and pans. You've got everybody's got a broomstick of some sort for sweeping the yard. That will double for sweeping the negative energy out of your home. And if you're doing so, remember to go widdershins or anti-clockwise around the home to banish it. Start at the front door, finish at the front door, and sweep that negative energy right out your front door, right down the path, and away from your entranceways. You do not want visitors to be traipsing that negative energy back in because you've left it on your front doorstep. Get it away. Get it out into the street where it can be spread wide and it doesn't massively affect other people. Sweep down the drain, whatever it takes. If it's raining, brilliant, the rain will wash it away. Doesn't rain much in the desert. Yeah. So there we go. From the front door, right the way through, you now know to keep the lid down on your toilet, and to use your plug holes to symbolically get rid of anything you don't want or flush it down the toilet. Please don't come complaining to me if you've dropped an effigy of somebody down the toilet and it's blocked your drains. Don't do that. Don't do that. Write their name on a bit of toilet paper. Flush that. Much better. Yeah. And if you really hate housework like I do, put some tunes on, make yourself a coffee or open up a bottle of wine and make it part of your sacred ritual. Trust me, the goddess Vesta will not complain if you're vacuuming with a G&T in your hands. She's never complained. She's a good girl. She loves us all and knows we must do what we must do to get through the world. So, thank you for joining me, everybody. It was a little bit of a whistle-stop tour and I got a bit fast and overexcited in my talking. Yeah, I'll do this again soon. I've got a dog. I'm going to see what the dog wants. Until next time, everybody, have a wonderful day and blessed be.